I'm Tim Windsor from BlackBerry Developer Relations. In this video, I'll be talking about using our open source Webworks samples hosted on GitHub. So what is open source? Under most jurisdictions, all creative works automatically assign copyright to the author. Open source, Creative Commons, and open licenses use copyright law to open the use of creative works within the copyright law framework. So open source is both open code and an open license. There are very many licenses out there with a wide range of requirements. Our preference is for Apache 2.0, which has fairly minimal requirements for use and doesn't force a lot of restrictions on developers using code with it. Some of our code will be released under other licenses, or may include third-party resources used under other licenses. You may see MIT frequently, as it's a similar license, but even less restricting than Apache 2.0. The license that code is released under is critical for users of it, as some licenses like GPL version 3 are viral, meaning anything that builds on the code must use the same license. Apache 2.0 does not share this requirement. GitHub is the place where all our sample code, both official and community contributed, is posted. GitHub uses and builds on top of the Git distributed version control system. Besides being a great showcase for projects that makes it very easy to access and contribute to open source projects, it adds quite a few features that make working with Git easier and support a social, distributed mode of development. GitHub.com/BlackBerry is the site to visit for our code. We have 89 repositories up there that cover samples from many different development approaches, community samples, all of our Webworks and WebKit source, and our ports for BlackBerry 10. Let's check out the site and take a look at a sample. So here's a view of our BB10 Webworks samples repository. I'm just going to open up one of the samples here so that we can see what's inside. So you'll see that what's shown when you look at a sample is the README file. This file will tell you the license that the software is released under, in this case Apache 2.0, includes a link to it, and it also tells you quite a bit about the sample, what software it needs to be built with, who the author is, and it also includes some information about some third-party assets. So there's some sound files used in this sample that are available under the CC0 or public domain license. With our samples, you'll find information about how to build it, features that are required, where to go for more info, how to contribute back, and how to report bugs. It's very easy within a sample to go and look at the actual code, as GitHub automatically does syntax highlighting for you and allows you to look at individual lines and link to them. Now I can grab individual files by accessing the raw link here, but if I want to download the code in bulk, the easiest way is to just use the zip file download. So clicking here will actually download the entire repository in the master branch as a zip file. And I can open it up and see all of the code in here. So, as I said, our preference is for the Apache 2.0 license. There are a few small things you need to do in order to respect the terms of the license. Inside every project in our repositories, you'll find a license file. This contains the license of the project, as well as the licenses of any other code included in the sample. And you'll need to include a copy of this license file if you do any further modifications or release of that code. Also note where you made any changes to the file, retain the copyright and other notices, and retain any notice file that you find. Most of these are pretty straightforward and easy to follow. The only real wrinkle is in the notice requirement. Few of our samples include any notice file, and if you're releasing code as source, it's pretty easy to include it. However, if there is a notice file and you release software as a packaged binary, then the license does require you to display that notice to the user in some way. To build the samples into applications, you can use command line tools, RPL, or a custom build script, like the Webworks Ant build script that is in the Community Samples repository. All of these techniques will be covered in a later video. Thanks very much for watching.